Good morning, everyone. I'm back. It's 10:20 at the moment in the morning. Yes, I'm up very early. No, really, I was up at 7, but then I have all that stuff to do, comments to answer on YouTube. That's what I did. As you can see, the sun is shining. Yes, that's I think that's really great because I really need some vitamin D. Now, really, I take a lot of vitamin D because it makes you feel better. So if you're feeling a little blue this winter and you haven't had enough sun, you should take vitamin D. What I'm going to do is, for Stephanie, I'm going to make a batch of hearts. And I said, I'll just video it so you can see exactly how I make your little hearts. That's what I'm going to do. I've been dinking around with the different things. This is graphite stuff, and I was really checking for just different effects in this watercolor, and I sort of really like this washed out stuff. I'll show you what I was thinking. See, even if I did this, but I want to doodle on this with some sort of a pen, a waterproof pen. And I'm going to frame one and hang it in the window, where the sun catches it, to see how it stays. So like the half I'm going to put some varnish on, and the other half I'm not. And I'm going to see how that holds up in the sun. It's important that if you're working with these watercolors, because the light fastness is low, that if you make something you really like, you will have to really put a UV protection on it. That's always good to do, even with the most expensive watercolors. There are sprays that you can lightly spray on top, and then it'll fixate, and it has a UV protection, and it's always good to do. So if you have anything that you really, really think, I want to keep this forever, that's what you should be doing. Now, as I'm doing these, I'm sort of making sure that I am testing and experimenting with how I wet the paper, and how it reacts to really wet paper or just moist or whatever, so that we have a little understanding of how the paints react. For me, that's pretty important because I want to keep on experimenting. I think that's why my channel has so many videos, because I like to see how everything reacts on different mediums, different papers. So, and this is something I really enjoy doing because it makes me all zen. Later on today, we're going to do a lot of different stuff. Let me get another brush. We're going to do, of course, I have my bigger canvases. Well, not really huge, guys, because what I really want to do is test the one I did last week. I'll show you that before I start the other pour. But I really want to get into a little bit larger canvases, like a lot of you suggested. And I want to see if I can eventually go really large. But the thing is that, and that's something that we all forget, is that you have this pattern that looks really good on a small canvas, by 20 by 20 or something like that, centimeters. We really like that, and then when we do that larger, all of a sudden it's not that interesting anymore, because even though you can use a larger canvas, the problem is that the pattern sort of stays the same size, if you know what I mean. So that's when it's all of a sudden it's not that interesting. and it looks kind of dinky. So we'll have to work on that. Now this is really intense. You can't really see it that well, but I'm sure once Stephanie gets these hearts, she'll see how intense these colors are. I want a little bit of effects in here, so we're going to put a little bit more on. Going to make that wet up here. There we go. Where is my turquoise? So these are the ones I'm using, and I've been there's been a lot of ordering this stuff, because I think people understand that if I say it's intense, it is intense. It really is. And I've already received a couple of emails from people saying that they were blown away by the intensity of the colors. That they didn't see that on the monitor, but they were really surprised that it was so intense. That's what I really like. Okay, a little bit more of that greenish blue. Wetting the paper. There we go. A little bit more of the green. Oops, that's not green. And yes, for the observant people, I have my good bathrobe on. This is the good one. There's still no paint in this one, because I only paint watercolor when I have this one on. Otherwise, it would have long ago been changed to my painting robe. But I already have 4 painting robes, so I don't need any more. But it's really nice to have something warm on in the studio. Right now I have an electric heater on, because it's really cold here in Holland. It was -6 last night. I think even -8 some places in Holland. So it's really cold. And I'm not sure if you've heard about a lot of the like Switzerland and way down there in Germany, where their ski resorts are, that they are really, you know, covered in snow. There were people that they couldn't even get out of their homes, because they were totally snowed in. The snow was up to the roof in some places. Okay, now we want a couple of effects. That would be nice. So a little bit here. Now, what I'm really doing is just making sure that I have the different colors sort of in rows, because later on when I punch out the hearts, I'll have, like, you know, many colors popping up in those hearts. That's something I really like. That makes it really interesting. So where I'm seeing a little less color, I'll just add a little bit more, like this up here. And this is going to really flow into the background. I don't know why my brush is spitting color. That's better. That's really nice, that little band. It's going to spread out. It's going to make a really nice effects. Now, some of you have commented about adding salt to this stuff, and I'm very aware of how that works, because I've done a lot of watercolors in my life. But sometimes you just want to keep it as, you know, pure as possible. Especially this kind of paint, because I'm not really sure how it's going to hold up if I put salt on it. I can do that, but I'm not going to do that to something that I might be selling. So I want to keep this as pure as possible. That is nice. That is looking good. I think it needs a little bit, some more intensity. So I'm gonna bring that down here. And maybe up here. A little bit more up here. Let's put some pure on there. Okay. I think we've got it. Gotta make sure that it's all the way to the tippy tip of it all. Here's a little spot I don't want. I think we'll let this dry, and then I'm going to, I'm not sure if you can really see it. You can up here. See, the closer I get to the camera, the more you see how intense it is. There's a lot of bluish green in here, but I'm missing a little bit of the turquoise because I really would like a little bit more turquoise somewhere. There we go. Not all over the place though. That looks better. That'll really feather in. I like the way that feathers. Sometimes when I want those really washy things like over here, that's when I just roll it. I'll show you how I do that. So you load up your brush and then you just roll it on like that. And the funny thing is that when this soaks into the paper, it pulls out the color, and the color will pool on the sides just like this. That's how I did these pieces here. I just put a lot of moisture on there, like something like this. See, if I were to really rub it for a while, you can see how the color sort of lifts off from the paper, and that's going to give me those really nice spots. Okay, of course I have to show you what kind of paper I'm using. This is the paper I'm using. Let me just finish off under here. This is the brand, this is the type of paper, and they come in different weights, but you have to go for this one, the 300 grams. That's important. Okay, let me make sure that it flows a little bit more because I don't want intense round spots there. Okay, I'll put this one away. And I have the next one. But before I put it on the table, I really always clean the table because there's always a lot of paint on there, and of course it'll transfer a little bit to the back, but you don't want a really messy back. So what I'm doing with a mister, I'm misting the paper like that, and then I turn it around and I'll mist it a little more. That's about it. Now, the other one that Stephanie requested was really nice purple, pinky, and rainbowy colors, I think. So I'm going to put some on straight away. And when you do that, you really have to be careful that you don't press that bottle into the paper too much, because then you're going to damage the paper. And where you damage paper, the paint will get in there even more, and you'll see those stripy things that it makes, and that's not pretty. There we go. So we're going to make a little bit of cleaning up my brush. A little bit of green. Let's put the green down here. That's kind of pretty. And there are a lot of shades of violet in this collection of paint. As you can see here, got to go over that a little bit more, or otherwise we're going to get some washed out colors, which we don't want. And of course we need a little blue. Let's put in some navy blue. Right down here. And a little bit of green again. So this is the first layer. A little bit of green up here. And there was someone else that asked about the hearts, but they wanted silver on them. Elaine, that's you. But you didn't answer me which colors you really want, so I sort of thought you were going to email me because you have my email. But you didn't, so you got to tell me which colors. Then I can make you some. That is nice. Then I'm gonna want this color. Ooh, gotta be careful with that. I don't know where all the green is coming from. Let me clean my brush. Here we go. I think it needs a little bit more of the blue up here. Ooh, that is pretty. Let's just dab that on there and let it dry because that looks really pretty. Oops, that's a little bit too much. Let's take that off. That's gonna be fun. But I'm gonna pick up a little of this color. There it looks really like a rainbow. Let's take another brush. And let's take off a little bit. Sorry, I was whispering. Taking off a little bit of the moisture. And really what I do is just, you know, pinch the brush and sort of, you know, take off a little bit of the moisture that I see on the brush, just to lift it off the paper too. Then we're going to have a little bit more of that purpley purple. Oh, these are really pretty here. Let's do that here. Oh, there's a little bit too much water there too. But this is pretty nice. When I punch out the hearts out of this, you'll see that it is really pretty. This is really nice. Okay, a little bit more lifting. There you go. And that's the most intense bit, but I'm missing a little bit here. Let's put in a little bit of orange. Just to give it a little bit of difference. Otherwise, because the hearts are pretty big, you'll just have that, and that's not interesting. I like where the colors really mix with each other. A little bit up there. Taking off a little, just pushing it up. That's going to mix in there. I think I'll keep it just like this because this is really rainbowy. And Stephanie, you can always mail me because they are not going to go out until Monday. So if you don't like this, I'll show you when I'm finished. And if you don't like them, you can just mail me and I'll make a new batch, no problem. But I really like these colors. Okay, I know this is a long video, but for the people that don't like watercolor, I don't think you've clicked on this video, so no problem whatsoever. There's a little dirt on the back. We'll just turn it around again. And this time, this is something I just want to do. Let's see. We have some really bright yellow, not slate blue. We want a lighter, oh, royal blue. Let's see what royal blue does. We'll see. And some hot pink. Doesn't look like much, but wait till I put some water on there. This is a really dark purple. And as you can see, I'm only doing drops. And of course, a little bit of green. And of course, a little bit of other purple. Oops, that's a little bit spread all over the place. What's this? No, that's not good. Where's my... oh, there it is. My favorite color. Red brown we don't want. Oh, this is nice. This is a nice bright blue. Okay, I think we got enough color on there. So I'm gonna load up my little bottle. This is just a test, guys, just to see what happens. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, there it goes. Just to see how it behaves. Just making it move. Of course, if we move it too much, but now you can see the intensity, right? But it's gonna go really smoochy. But I just wanted to see what happens when I do this. So I'm gonna pull it out a little bit. A little bit out here. And then I'm gonna let it run a little bit. Oh, and another thing. There was someone who asked me about those, these. What I do, you know, to put the gold on. And I went to the shop yesterday and it was a way out of my, the way I, ooh, this is turning ugly. But who knows? It might just dry really pretty. So I went out of my way to drive up there and, because I just bought them at a normal shop. So I went there and they were all sold out. That's really a bummer. Because I thought I'd just buy a lot more and then maybe put them in my shop. But nope, they were sold out. So too bad. Otherwise I would have sent you some because you live in England and that's not too bad to send to you. But didn't happen. And this was a sort of a dollar shop, but not really a dollar shop. It was more like a shop that sells stuff that they have too much of. Don't know how you call those in English, but they have a lot of stuff, you know, stupid stuff too, that you're thinking, why would I have to buy that? But I guess there's always someone that wants to buy something, right? But I'll show you another thing I bought. Oh, this is going to be a lot of chatting. Some people are not going to like this video, but then I say, don't look at it. Okay, I'll show you. I bought this little hammer. Is this cute or is this cute? This is the cutest little hammer I've ever seen. And what I'm going to do with it, I'm not sure, but have you been on Pinterest a lot? If you have, you might have come across, it's so difficult to explain. It is layered, so say like this. You have a lot of this. Then they punch these holes in it. Then they do the next layer and they punch holes in it. Then another layer, holes in it, and I think up to 5 layers. And then they frame it in a shadow frame, and you can look straight through all those holes and you see the layers underneath. And I don't know, but I'm just a pattern person. Don't know if I'm explaining myself that well, but I really like when patterns appear. If you go to Pinterest and you search for my name, you'll find my my Pinterest boards, and a lot of them have to do with colors or with patterns. And that really, you know, did something. It hit something, a nerve, was some creative thing. And I've been thinking about that for a long, long time. So I'm going to do that pretty soon. Let's just put in a little bit more here. This is a little bit too dark, and the colors are not really popping up like I thought they'd pop up. But like I said, it was an experiment. We will see what happens when it's dry. Maybe a little bit more of the turquoise here. Cleaning up the brush. And as you can see, sometimes I use my brush like you're supposed to, and sometimes I just use it to dab on color. Okay, I think I'm ready. We'll see what I do with this. Not sure yet. Might do something with white doodles on top. Okay, 28 minutes. Guys, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to clean this all up. Stephanie, I'll keep an eye on my email. If these are the ones the colors you really like, I will finish them off. I'm going to finish them off anyway. I'll show you when they're finished. Maybe it's easier to see if you like them. Okay? Love you all to pieces, guys. See you in a bit.